listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. Here's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
How do you know if you're actually going to get what you want? Hello, lovely dynamic woman. I am Diane Rolston, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about that for you. I'm going to share with you the number one way to know if you will actually get what you want. So I'm not talking today about goal setting. I have to be perfectly clear about that. Goal setting, there is quite a big formula actually, as I found out. Clients of mine, women in audiences that I've spoken to, friends have said to me, Diane, how do you achieve so much? How do you achieve so much when you have 2 young children? How do you achieve so much when you have so much going on? Like, how do you just do it all? And so I wanted to come up with like a full-on formula. That's what it ended up being, to tangibly know how to achieve your goals every year, how to achieve goals all the time, and to figure out, to pinpoint why your goals are or aren't being achieved. Now, there is a formula. I call it the dynamic success formula. If you want to be in on that, you want to know about that, then hit me up with an email, diane@dianerolston.com. That is something that I do for my elite coaching members. So over the course of 2 days, we go through the formula. We go through each single piece so you know exactly where did I go wrong, what parts am I doing well, so that you can not only get great results, but multiply those results by your monthly actions that are in the formula. Okay, so what am I talking about today though? I want to give you something really simple to know if you are going to achieve what you want, if you're going to get to what you want. And the number one thing that I want to share is first in a question. You're going to want to grab your pens and write this down. If we talk about goals, we talk about what you want. Is that alive? Now that might sound like a weird question. You're like, what does that mean, Diane? Why are you saying, is it alive? Well, it's not a plant. It's not an animal. It's not a person. How can it be alive? That's the key thing. Goals must be alive. What you want must be alive in your life. If it's not present, if it's not there, you will not achieve it. That's the number one way to not achieve a goal, is to have a goal be dead. So the first step when I talk about having alive goals is to make sure that your goals are actually written down. Then they're active goals. They're alive. If you haven't written down your goals yet, if you haven't written down what you want, then they're passive. They're just dreams. They're just wishes. You are not actually going to attain them. So first step, super easy. Just write down what you want. Write down what your goals are. Now, to be completely transparent, there is a process to go through to find exactly what you want. I've done this for years with clients of mine one-on-one. I do it in group coaching programs with Dynamic Balance. And what I found is actually in coaching, the number one hardest question for people to answer is, what do you want? And there is a process to go through. Don't have time to do that today. Maybe I'll do that on another podcast. But the key thing here that I want you to be thinking about is, how can I make my goals alive? How can I make what I want alive? So the first step, as I said, is just write it down. Write down what it is. The second step is to move it into your calendar. So if you want to answer the question, are my goals alive? Is what I want alive? Check your calendar. If you have a health goal of losing 20 pounds, is there anything in your calendar that says workout? Is there anything in your calendar that says meal prep? If you want to write a book, is there anything in your calendar that says draft an outline or talk with publishers? Anything book related in your calendar? If there's nothing in your calendar, in your schedule, in your to-dos that are related to what you want, then you're not going to attain it. That's like when people say, like, I want to renovate my house, but they're not actively doing anything for it. Or I want to meet a man, but then they're not telling people, they're not going on dating sites, they're not trying to get set up with friends of friends, right? They're not attending any events. They're not doing anything. There's nothing in their calendar supporting that goal. So is it in your calendar? Now you might think, well, I delegate a lot. Well, great. Is there anything in your calendar where it's meetings to check in on those who are instrumental to the success of you getting what you want? For example, if it's the reno idea, the home reno, then do you have meetings with the contractor? Do you have meetings with the designer? If it's going back to the idea of writing your own book, do you have meetings with a publisher? Do you have meetings with maybe a ghostwriter or the book layout designer, who, whatever it may be? You need to ask yourself, do I have meetings with these people? If you don't have meetings with them, then you're probably not going to get what you want. Now you might say, yeah, but Diane, I don't need to have meetings with them. Well, as long as you're monitoring their progress, as long as there's something that's happening, then it's in your calendar and that goal or what you want is alive. The other thing you can start doing is make sure your resources are going to it. So when someone says to me, I just wish I could build my business. Well, are you spending time learning how to do that? Are you investing? Are you investing time to be able to do that? Are you investing your financial resources to learn how to run a business? Are you investing resources in a coach to support you, to provide accountability? If your resources of time, energy, and money are not going to what you want, you won't achieve it, right? That's like saying, I'm going to lose, or I'm going to get super fit so I can run a Iron Man. But then you're not spending any time doing that. And you're not investing in the right coaches to train you for that. And you're not buying the right equipment that you need to do it. How are you going to attain that goal? And it's nowhere in your calendar. So the number one way to know if you will get what you want is your goal alive? You can easily do that. Put it in your calendar, spend some time working on it, have some meetings with those who are instrumental in making it happen, and have your resources go to that goal. You will have now a better chance of having that goal work out. You also want to be reviewing, tracking your progress. There's so much more to actually making that goal happen, but that number one way, super easy, make sure it's alive. Make sure it's in your calendar. I know that is something that you can do today. Check your calendar. See, do you have time, energy, resources, money going towards what you want? If you want to be closer to your family, but you work all the time, you won't be closer to your family. If you in your calendar are saying, in your life, you're saying, I want to be more spiritual, but on Sundays, it doesn't say you go to church. You don't have a daily practice of praying or reading the Bible or whatever spiritual life means to you. How are you going to get closer to that? I want the best for you. Is that in my calendar? Yeah. It's in my calendar to do these podcasts. It's in my calendar to do Facebook Lives on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific every single week. It's in my calendar to do what I can to get to what I want. And I want the same for you. But do you want it for yourself? That's the question. So I hope that today you'll do something to make sure that the number one way to know if you'll get what you want is actually happening, so that you can feel confident that you will get what you want, that you'll feel confident that you'll get closer to reaching those goals. I trust that you've got a lot out of this today. There are many podcasts that I have on different topics to move your life and your business forward. Who do you think needs to hear this message today? Who in your life do you know isn't getting what they want? Share it with them. Help them to make their goals and what they want alive as well. And if you have opportunities that you want to optimize, if you have challenges that you need to get over, shoot me an email, diane@dianerolston.com. Be happy to have a complimentary 15-minute consultation about whatever your number one blockage is or your number one opportunity, so that we can talk about moving you forward. Tune in next week, where I'm going to give another great topic and bring to you a guest, a dynamic woman, to up-level your life and your business. Stay dynamic.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.